Hi, I'm Pat Barnard, Group Managing Editor for TMCnet, coming to you from IT Expo East 2011 here in Miami. And joining me is Matt Vlasach, Mobile Architect for Unwired Revolution. Hey Matt, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for coming to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So why don't you start off telling us a little bit about Unwired Revolution?
Sure, so Unwired Revolution is a mobile device or mobile enterprise platform provider. What we'll do is we'll help companies at large enterprise, medium to large enterprise, with the enablement of mobile and remote devices. So whether that's a smartphone or a laptop, we will make it so the enterprise can deploy that device securely and reliably.
Okay, great. And I understand that you participated in a panel session here at IT Expo in which you explored the topic of mobile UC, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We talked about mobile UC and about the distributed workforce, both on mobile devices and also for fixed mobile users, so people who are working from home, and how to carry unified communication capabilities to those users in this new segment of user base.
Okay. Now, it's kind of you get a lot of mixed messages out there when it comes to mobile UC. I mean, when you go and you visit some vendor sites, you get the feeling that this is all done. You know, we've done it, we've created it, it's there. And then maybe there might be other vendors who say, well, not so fast yet. I don't think we've really quite gotten there yet. And just to add to that, I would have to say that in my opinion, you don't get the full value out of unified communications until you get the mobile piece into place. So what do you think are some of the challenges right now with regard to bringing what you might call true UC to mobility?
Right. Well, so the biggest challenge is absolutely the network. The underlying network is the lowest common denominator. Right now in the United States, if you try to do voice over IP, let alone try to get video or any of those high bandwidth operations going through a mobile device over a mobile carrier, the user experience isn't going to be there.
Right.
So a lot of the solutions out there, they're mobile in the sense that they are utilizing the mobile device, but it's still piggybacking on the GSM network or the CDMA network, so you're still falling back to the traditional PSTN to connect that call in the end.
Right.
To get a lot of the capabilities like instant messaging and video and true VoIP and high definition VoIP, the underlying network has to be there, and it's just not there. It's getting there, and when it is there, it's going to be very powerful, and those investments that companies did make on the enterprise UC system is really going to be able to help out, because you can now carry all those features to the mobile user.
Right, okay. So that infrastructure really needs to be into place end to end. What about 4G technologies, LTE? I mean, does this bring about the promise of bringing true UC to mobile devices, or is there more to it than that? I know you got to consider the backhaul piece, you got to consider the wired piece, going back to the NOC. And so, tell me a little bit more about what really needs to be done here. Probably a pretty significant investment that carriers are going to have to make before this really becomes true mobile UC, right?
Right, and I mean, and there's a whole other category for enterprise as well. I mean, what consumers can get by with in terms of network infrastructure, and the quality of the experience is one thing. On the enterprise, it's a much more demanding thing.
Right.
So some of the key pieces of the carrier side infrastructure that has to be there, specifically in 4G, is not necessarily just the bandwidth, but the quality of service and the ability for the enterprise to be able to have hooks into the carrier's network to say, hey, this is a high priority packet. I need to make sure that this voice packet is delivered clearly on time and all that other stuff above, say downloading a YouTube video or anything like that.
Right.
So, taking advantage of those systems and the IMS core that's going to be coming into the 4G network, and having PBX and enterprise systems, UC systems, be able to play into that, it's all fair game, and it's going to be very interesting to see where that all goes.
Right, okay. All right, so tell me a little bit about some of Unwired Revolution's recent innovations.
Sure.
And then looking forward into 2011, I understand that you have another innovation coming out that's going to be pretty exciting.
Absolutely, yes. So we see that mobile unified communications, it's an application that has to get delivered to a mobile device.
Right.
And it has to be done securely, it has to be done reliably, so on and so forth. And so in order to do that, you have to have a platform in place to make that happen. How are you going to deploy that application? How are you going to make sure it's working correctly? So we see that mobile unified communication is kind of step 2 in the whole process. Step 1 is making it so end users or employees can bring their devices to work and can get on the network, not just do traditional things like email, but also make it so if they leave, we can pull those assets and that information if necessary, and basically make it so these really powerful smartphones that are able to do all these UC things are controlled and are manageable. And once you have control and management of those devices, you can start doing neat things like unified communications.
Right. Okay.
So what we're doing is we're releasing a platform for mobile device management, specifically for iOS to start off with. We see a big push for the iOS in enterprise, and and it has all the hardware necessary to do mobile unified communication. So we are releasing this product as a means to simplify the process of putting a consumer device under management of the enterprise.
Okay, great. And it seems that for now, or at least initially in the short run anyway, mobile UC is going to more or less fall under the domain of the larger enterprises. What's going to make it possible to bring it down to the SMBs and even down to the small businesses? Because I think there's a good argument to be made that even small businesses can benefit from a lot of the productivity enhancing features that mobile UC can bring about, right?
Right. Absolutely. I think that the SMB and market is going to be best served by kind of hosted cloud offerings. I think the on-prem model of being able to deploy your own UC solution on site is going to be, the cost is going to be hard to justify to do that for yourself. But if you bring in a cloud service offering that it can package all that for you and you're paying a certain amount per month, and they have all the infrastructure in place, all the interoperability worked out, all you have to do as an end user and a customer is install that software on your devices, and you don't have to worry as much about management and device management and whatnot. You have a very you have a very suitable platform for mobile UC.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for your time, Matt. We got to wrap up now. We've been talking to Matt Vlasach, mobile architect for Unwired Revolution, coming to you from IT Expo East here in Miami. Thanks again, Matt, for your time.
Great, thank you.